I figured it out. I figured it out. I figured it out. That was the emergency. That was the emergency over there in the corner. And it was connected to a monumental husband candidate that is handling emergencies in the area. I knew there was emergency people in the area. I just drove too fast, I bet, because I bet more emergency vehicles would have showed up if I would have not driven through the area so fast. But I drove really fast because I was on a video and I didn't want to waste time on the video. But like, see, that's why you got to sit and take whatever time. When I was at that hotel, I knew there was an emergency crew driving by at that moment. And then I knew there was going to be another emergency crew driving by. And of course they did. And, but emergency crews drive as fast or slow as they want. Emergency crews, sometimes the emergency is no longer an emergency, so they stop driving. And I was just picking up on the power of them driving, and there was an emergency. I didn't have any idea if the emergency was going to stop because I was just playing a game of telling you guys when there's an emergency car. But that was the emergency connected to a husband. Okay. Well, husbands everywhere are lighting up more than ever. So husbands that are passing every test, you're going to look at me and wonder how you have such overwhelming reactions to my existence. Husband candidates that are passing every test and doing very well, you're going to look at my existence and not be able to understand why you feel so overwhelmed and so massively overdone when you just look in my direction. Husband candidates that are doing well, passing every test, you're gonna dive into a billion feelings. The real reality and the real answer is husband candidates don't think twice about it any which way. As you keep passing every test, the power of God will help you to understand all these weird feelings or emotions that everybody's having. Or these weird reactions or powerful reactions to my existence. You'll start to understand what it all means. I have heard that Cheryl is well known as the lady on the back of the beast. So I found out that they were murdering me and turning it into like a TV show or a participating gross like event to murder me over and over. And part of it had Cheryl as some kind of scary nightmare chosen Antichrist God or something. So that would tell you that the ending ended up worse than the book of Revelations. The book of Revelations, the lady on the back of the beast drinking the perversion or fornication of the power of God, is just the reality of murdering me and stealing my powers, or basic stolen power of God reality. What I'm hearing about Cheryl being like exalted as some kind of weirdo Antichrist God or something, that means they took the murder of God over and over into some weirdo oblivion, which would coincide with their desire to act like they're God in their brain and not want to let it go. Because when you steal enough power of God from killing gods enough, it gets to your head and makes you think you're God and all kinds of weird, scary things. Because when it's not your powers, it's just weird and scary and you don't want to go near it. It's like the Lord of the Rings thing. You've seen those movies. And in the Lord of the Rings movies, they are just weird and overdone and scary and creepy about a ring. And it's usually built by the power of some god making a point or doing things with it. So when you murder me and steal my powers, it will go to your head and get really weird and scary, like a Lord of the Rings weird, scary moment. But You cannot win because you are not the actual God. You're just stealing some power of some God. But when you're stealing any power of any God, it'll go to your head, because gods are the biggest, most powerful, invincible realities in existence. And if they even stole a drop of my powers, it would go to their head beyond words, because I'm the biggest God that has always survived the impossible all the time. Sadly, whatever they stole in my powers is just pure punishment now. So if you don't win with the devil against me, whatever you've done against me is just pure punishment, and it's scary as hell. So, sadly, that's going to have nothing but a bad ending. But at least the husband candidates, the chosen candidates. So I have like nun equivalents. I don't really believe in preachers and nuns, but I have equivalents to preachers. I have equivalents to nuns. Every now and then I do have a preacher or something, because they choose to be like God or Jesus. I didn't pick it. I just let them pick what they wanted to be. So when I have a chosen that just wants to be what I want them to be, that would be the first way out their religion that's never existed. You guys have to remember, I created Christianity, and it blew to the devil. The devil won Christianity more than me, and I created it when I came down here to honor God and Jesus. I created the brand new modern Christian music, and it blew to the devil. I didn't even get anything by the end of it. And I had created it to honor God and Jesus. So that's sad, but you lose where you lose, you win where you win. So I got that beautiful, artistic, creative man to make that weird statue thing out by Joshua Tree, where it's just a face and hands and stuff. And it connects to spirituality that's very excessive and overwhelming. And that's where my first religion's gonna come out of. But you're gonna realize that my religion is not religion. It's out there stuff. Now, my first religion has to give me a portion of everything they get. So you'll know when I have a religion, they have to give me a portion of everything. So see, they have to give me what I say that they have to give me before they even have their religion. And then they have to give me what I say throughout the religion. So from now on, I have to make business deals with businesses, or I can't use the power of God or my business intelligence for anything. I cannot possess and control the people within a company without doing business with them and getting an agreement and a payment or whatever first. So now I can't do anything as a god without being paid or honored and acknowledged and paid in front of everybody. So that's what happened. So I don't know if I ever told you guys this, but the United States and Dubai was murdering me, all the time. So this is back in the 90s. Back in the 90s, the United States and Dubai would murder me over and over like it was nothing. And I had little to no power, so I had little to nothing I could do about anything except saying one day you're going to pay for it all or whatever. And denying the devil or not choosing any bad choices and dying all the time. And I was just getting killed all the time. They killed me like it was a leisure, like it was going to the PGA tournament or something. It was just killing me all the time. And it was back in the 90s. And back then, I was claiming husbands that I really actually liked and believed in. And back then, I was claiming ultimate preachers, almighty countries that I knew were worth my investment and focus. All of them know that they have to do honorable business with me or something. And that's because when the United States and Dubai were killing me all the time like a leisure activity, they figured out that they not only could steal my powers, they could force me like a slave to use my powers to do things they wanted. And they forced me to create battery vehicles. They forced me to create brand new existences. And I got no justice or revenge until the end. So, just like the devil, if they don't win, they have to pay it all back out of their death and more. But they did play a very scary game of steal the power of God, try to get whatever they wanted, and now they have to pay the ultimate price for all of it. So, because they were so degrading and gross and stealing my capabilities in business, or my powers running businesses, or my powers running countries and more, they do pay the ultimate scary price. And I now have to do honorable business to take care of countries, to do everything. So see, that was another reason I was trying to get these countries to mass produce money for 5 days or whatever and give me some percentage I pick all the time. Because it also makes an opening to take care of those countries and stuff. But of course, the United States and Dubai are still going to fight to this last second. So until they're dead enough and gone, it looks like it goes how it goes. But yeah, if I'm not getting paid or getting honor, I can't do all the things as a God I normally do. So it's, it's sucking. So I had a temporary amount of time to still take care of all the things I had been taking care of as a God anyway. But the disrespect of having nothing, having no worship, having no honor, never getting paid, and taking care of things, the gods were like, you're not going to sit and be a loser, slave, dead, nigger, bitch, fuck you, anything anymore. So yeah, I have to do honorable business or be treated well to give my powers and nice things to others. And I get that. That's part of the transition of being God again and getting rid of all this murder God. Expect something gross shit that the United States and Dubai were peddling. So hopefully it'll work out, but I don't know. I was searching for husbands worth something all night. I'm going to try to take the best husbands out of everything and put something together where the side of God can get somewhere worth going and take it from there. But, oh well. A bunch of gods were like, you need to put the power of the something on the pilot because those truckers go to the pilot all the time. And I was like, I sit and help truckers wherever I go. And they were like, but these truckers that go to the pilot, they don't go where you go. And I was like, that's so sweet that they're really that concerned about the truckers. And they were like, no, we're just getting into it because everything you do for the truckers when they're wherever you are, it really works. So we're starting to realize that your powers really do take really good care of the truckers. So then we're just pointing out all the other truck stops so everybody can get help. They're like, I have to be in the same area. The gods and I took a long time to be in the same area all the time. So that when people need emergency miracles, they know where to find me. And it's bad enough when I have to go to a Motel 6 or I just got to take off to go to the lake or something and I just need to be to myself and have time to hibernate and be to myself for a while. Right there, what if somebody is dying and decides, fuck it, I'm going to drive all the way out here and I'm not where I normally should be and they need that miracle. And they got their husband to drive them too far or something. And dang it, I'm at the Motel 6. And they go to where I'm always at and they don't get the same miracle. Now, I go there so much that I think I could take a day or two off because my powers will stay on that area for 3 days all the time when I've been there. So I think it's going to be okay. And when I go to the same place for 2 or 3 days, that power's piling up. Because my powers in one day last for 3 days. So then if I go there the second day, it's piling up because it still lasts for 3 days. So by the last third day, it's piling up 3 times in the one day in the beginning where I already had 3 days. I already had 3 days for my power to work on this day. But if I went on these days, all the power I got is piling up for 3 days. So it should still bring the best miracle possible for somebody, but nothing is ever as good as when you're literally there. And depending on how bad their emergency is, I would feel bad. So I'm trying to make sure people know that I'm going to a room or something and I'm going to hibernate. Or I'm going to the lake or something and I'm not going to be around. I'm trying to make sure they know that. So see, when I don't say that, I already know that people are going to expect that I am where I always am. So that when they need something, they know where to find me. You know, I don't have a church. These countries really do watch every dollar I make on a stupid app job. These people really are confirming they can't even give me a penny. So, you know, all I have for people to find miracles is to find somewhere that I can be all the time. And I found that where I sit is the nicest place that the gods and I agree would be fun to just be all the time. Now, that said, also remember we're leaving when it gets warm. When it gets too warm, we're gonna leave and try to find somewhere else. There was a guy that said Idlewild is still a lot cooler in the summer, but I don't know. But he also mentioned Big Bear. Big Bear is very nice in the summer. But how much would you make and live? Because it's a small area. I don't know. So I'm still thinking about what I'm going to do, where I'm going to go. I'll keep you guys posted.